Yeah! Here we go!
It's time for TSS Fantasy.
It is Commissioner Cooper.
Greatest time of the year, and if you are praising Fantasy Jesus, you are doing good stuff.
Happy Sunday. Happy early morning trash football.
Yes! We're back, baby! Let's go!
I don't know, just like I almost got banned on TikTok.
He was playing with me. He has had some nagging hamstring issues over the years.
My beloved Jets are trash.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Commissioner Cooper, and it's time for TSS Fantasy.
Yeah! We back! I missed you guys. Greg missed you. I missed you. We're here for some football. Next week starts some football the 4th. Let's go!
Freddie, I've seen enough of you this weekend, bro. I'm good.
Fired up and ready to rumble. It is fantasy football weekend, pretty much. A lot of drafts going on, but we're here to get you ready today. Let's start our introductions. Let's, of course, go ladies first. Ballers, Meg in the house. Welcome into the studio.
Hey.
Glad to have you here on an early Sunday morning. And also welcome into the building, Justin Jesus Herrera.
Man, you did Greg so goddamn dirty.
I'm gonna get to that. Hold on, Justin.
I knew you were coming around. I was setting it up for you, bro. Don't worry.
I had to do it. Also, welcome in the studio, Greg OJ. His Jets are trash mayor.
Is that a D on my chest? What is that? That's a 0. My hairstyle. I don't get it, bro. Jason, everybody else looks good, and I look like something out of a comic book, bro.
You look like kind of an old Odell Beckham, like kind of. So,
old Odell Beckham.
All right, and also welcome into the studio, Freddie the Jester Reyes. Welcome in, my friend.
Yeah, I'm back, baby. I love football. I don't know about that summertime shit, but we here for the fall, baby. Let's go. Let's fucking go.
32 shows in the summer. Fred shows up to 1. All right.
I commented on the section.
All right, we got some things to discuss this morning, but first, let's pay the bills. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a solid. Give us a subscribe, a like, a comment, notification, all that kind of good stuff. Little things stopping you from doing it, big things popping for us when you do, so we always appreciate you. If you're looking to do daily fantasy this season, use Fast Trap app. We'll double your deposit to $50. It'll be $100 to throw down on some daily fantasy. Use the promo code TSS. We'll tighten you up. If you're looking for some championship bling for your fantasy champion, Fred, look no further than Pro-Am Belts. All right, well, that's pretty much it. We'll get things started today. We thought we were going to have Brian Scott in for the injury update. Unfortunately, Brian
he got injured.
Brian's microphone got injured this morning, so but be on the lookout for Brian. We did do an injury update earlier this week on No Weddings in the Fall with Ben Troop. So if you want to just pop in there, he did a good injury update there, so you can go and check that out. All right, well, we're going to talk about some drafts today. I know a lot of you guys are doing some drafts, and I've already done some drafts. So we're going to talk about some draft strategies, go over some tiers with you. And then, of course, we got some draft grading to do as well. So, by the way, we do have another show next Friday. If you have your draft completed, send it in to us via social media. Next Friday, we will grade your drafts live on the air as well. Always a good time to see what Freddie comes up with. All right. Well, of course, let's get things started with some draft strategy. Good morning to you, Latasha. Appreciate you joining us this morning. And she said she's reporting live from KCMO, home of the Chiefs. So thank you, Latasha. We appreciate you joining us this morning. All right. So again, we have some drafts going on this weekend. Just want to go around the room and talk about some of the draft strategies you like to implement. I like to bring up some 101s before we do that. Always look at your draft settings. That's always important going into a draft, knowing if it's super flex, what kind of points. Certain players may get. Some leagues, they have passing touchdowns up to 6 points. That makes your quarterback very valuable. Lots of different things in there. So just make sure you check out those settings before you start. And then one other quick tip, know your league mates. Look them up on Facebook. It's cool, man. Go see what they do normally. See what teams they like. See what players they like. That's always important when you're in a draft because it just kind of, you'll know what they're going to probably do the next round, which is important because then you can kind of strategize what you're going to do the next round as well. So just know what their settings and what they like to do. We have
dumb shit.
We got particular people who like to do receivers first rounds and that type of thing. So just know your league. Although it
a second-year quarterbacks over Josh Allen.
Right. And then also sometimes you will end up, they'll not do what you're expecting, and then that you'll have to kind of be ready to make different moves is what I'm trying to spit out this morning. So anyway, all right, we'll go to Justin first. Tell us maybe some different draft strategies you have normally going into drafts.
Well, first off, I always draft with people I know I can beat. So that's the first strategy I do. I find out who these guys are first, like Coop said, the background and everything, and then I go, okay, this is easy money right here. Take my money, let's slide it in, let's get it back as soon as possible. But all joking aside, I skim the rules. I love to skim the rules. I love to try and find the little flaws and stuff like that. So if you get an extra point for 40-yard runs or stuff like that, I'll go for maybe more an explosive running back, maybe like a Saquon Barkley who had 10 60-yard runs last year or something like that. You kind of look for those little loopholes. And then like you were saying, Commish, you just got to know who you're playing with. Read the room. That's the one thing I always tell people. Read the room and come in with a strategy for every draft position. Because if you got a spot, maybe come in thinking I can do this balance because it's going to be a shorter time between me getting the pick and it coming back around rather than if you get the 12 spot, then you got to go, okay, maybe I got to go RB heavy here because there might not be RBs coming back this way. And then, there's always going to be random dudes that, in a 1 QB league still select a QB in the first round, even though he was a stud last year. It might not be that great this year, but still like the fourth quarterback. Shout out to whoever the fuck did that. I think it was like Ken or Jose. No, it wasn't Jose. It was like Ken or somebody.
It was Dwayne.
It was Dwayne. Yeah, well, Dwayne probably not going to win this year again.
Damn, already eating him up.
I know you're watching, Dwayne, too. I know you're watching.
Either watch it now or watch it later, that's for sure. Meg, how about you? Any different draft strategies you like to implement when you draft?
I mean, Meg, go ahead. Sorry.
Here's a Greg.
Hey, Greg, it's okay. All right, Meg, what do you think?
So I have a little issue this year, and I might have oversubscribed to how many fantasy leagues that I could actually take part in. So I'm in 35, which I feel like is a bit much, in all honesty. So keeping track. More for charity, 5 are my own. It's chaos for me. I'll be honest. It's utter chaos. So it's best player available for me. I never take a quarterback in the first round, but one of my leagues, 8 people in a row took a quarterback, picks 1 through 8, first round. What? In a 1 QB league. So that changes everything, and I think you have to be really adaptable to, like you say, who's in the league with you. If it's a complete novice rookie who's never done fantasy before, they're looking at those big names. They're looking at Josh Allen. They're like, I'm first pick. I'm taking him. So you have to be super adaptable to have not just a second option, but a third, fourth, 9th option as well. I always try and go for a bit of an underdog as well. So someone who I know that's maybe a bit of a safer bet that people aren't necessarily looking at. So I watch a lot of the combine, a lot of the draft. I'm looking at those rookies coming in thinking, are they going to get some game time? If so, can I optimize them? Especially if it's, like a league that's ongoing. I can't even keep track of who I've drafted this year. I'll be honest, I've got a spreadsheet on the go. But it's it's one of those where I try not to do too many homers because I think it's a bit of a predictable thing where people expect me to take Atlanta players, and unless it's the crazy one, which is my Kyle Pitts pick every time, nobody's looking at what I'm taking, and I try and switch up. I'm in leagues where I've got crossovers with different people who are in multiple leagues that I'm in, and I do different every single time. I try and be that unpredictable player who's like, haha, you thought I was going to take this guy, but I've taken this one. And it just throws people off a little bit. So I try and be unpredictable. I try and look at who the best options are, but also just try and grab that underdog. Look at what happened with Jaden Daniels last year. Nobody expected him to do what he did. So, yeah. And CMC, like Latasha just put in the chat, CMC's a problem with them ankles. Last season, I learned my lesson, honey. I have not drafted him this year. I've not touched him because he screwed me over big time last year. So, yeah, top tip, avoid CMC.
I think you brought up an important point. I mean, I'm sometimes in 5 or 6 and I feel like it's too much. So I would just say, concentrate on a couple because it just gets to be craziness. And just one other quick thing I like to implement during the season to help my stress out. I don't scoreboard watch anymore because I used to do that, and it just gets so stressful. You'll be up 10 minutes and then you're down for 10. It's just like, I'm good with it. Let me find out later what's going on. Greg, I'm going to ask you your strategies, but maybe you want to answer Latasha, who asked, at what point does he pick a QB? What do you think about that?
I mean, it's when you're drafting, you want to watch the board, right? You want to see where people are going, who's making a run. Like this year in our draft, we've been drafting almost 25 years, and I think this is the first year where I think somebody took a quarterback in the first round, like set precedents. Read the board, right? Because this year in our draft, we had someone take Jaden Daniels in the first round, and then nobody took a quarterback again until like the third round. So just watch the board. That's when I say to pick a quarterback. But if you see a run on quarterbacks happening, yeah, you might want to get your hand in one of those top 5, top 6 quarterbacks, because if you wait too long, you're going to end up with Kenny Pickens as your freaking quarterback, and you don't want that. So just watch the board as it goes.
Yeah, it's good advice. I like that. It's just like you said, watch the board. You don't necessarily buy into a QB run, if you will, because then there'll be other valuable players for your roster. However, if it gets to be a long run, then you may want to tip your toe in that pool, so to speak. All right, let's go to Fred. He's got his belt up, so he obviously wants to brought to you by Pro Am Belts, by the way. Kevin Wilson,
I'm gonna do it.
The professor of Belly Up Sports, by the way. So I'll ask you about your strategies, Fred, but answer this for Kevin. He wants to know, when are we drafting CMC?
Not at all. Let some other scrub take him. So, I have never drafted him, even when he was super high on the board back then. After all, I try to stay away from injury-prone players all the time. It just becomes the same thing over and over and over, especially with CMC. I can't trust him. I don't want to waste a slot on him. I just use the force like Luke. I don't really have any strategies for fantasy, and if I tell you guys, these other 3 are going to try to beat me. So I just keep my mouth shut.
What?
I ain't telling you my strategy.
You lost to this dude? He doesn't even have a strategy.
I'm like Yoda, baby. I just use the force, man. What's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? No,
I mean, you may resemble Yoda, but I don't.
Freddie just goes in and eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
No, but I'm gonna tell you something. I always pick a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round. See, I'm gonna let y'all know a little secret. I go for guys that score points. I know I said that before, and everybody says, "Oh, we all do that." That's a damn lie. They go for people that they like on their team. Like that's what happens. It happens every draft. People they fall in love with their heart players, and that's who they pick. I always go with a stud running back, try to pick up a nice running back the second round to complement my stud, and then I go for the next big point getter, whether it be a quarterback. Yesterday, I picked McBride in the third round. You know why? Because I'm a champion, and that's what champions do. He is basically my number one receiver. So now I don't have to pick a receiver till the 5th or 6th round. I can get one of them second or third tiers. And, you know, don't use my strategy, bro. I know you're thinking about it. I look see your little crinkle above your forehead. But that's how I do it. That's my draft strategy. And then in the 4th round, I have to go with that quarterback. So yes, guys, you can all use it. Thank me at the end of the season. Running back, high, nice tight end, quarterback.
But Freddie,
I've drafted the same
players to score, sir.
Yeah. Hey, it works.
That's the point of fantasy football.
Hey, listen, pro and belts, I appreciate you.
So go ahead, Fred.
I'm gonna say, and they made thanks, Greg, for making my kids have a great Christmas.
So I just
coming back next week, bro.
I just wanted to say I've drafted the same way forever, and I don't care what the trends are. Yep. I really don't care. It is always running back for me for the first 2 rounds. I've always drafted that way just because that's your meat and potatoes of your draft of your fantasy team. So that's just, and then after that, I'll see what I'll do. Is there a good receiver there? All that kind of stuff. So, it depends. Latasha brought up another question. She's at 6. So who should her first pick be? So I'm just gonna.
That's good for you.
I was 6 because I was 6 last night. It depends, like we were saying, on your league settings. Depends if this is a PPR league, if it's standard, half PPR, all that stuff. And then going back to watching the board. So we're in a standard league, still, like basically the missionary of fantasy football. So of course, running backs are more valuable than receivers. So in that particular draft, we mentioned there was a few different hiccups, of players taken that we weren't expecting. So in mine, Derrick Henry was there, and I just felt that was kind of a no-brainer, especially in a standard league, is to go that route. So if he's available for you, that's definitely who your first pick should be. You'll see CMC will probably be there. Somebody took him, I think, before me or something. I was very nervous because I didn't want to take a look at CMC because, he's got a lot of potential, but a lot of potential to get hurt as well. So,
and I also figured, like, with a running back, you have maybe 8 true studs, or let's say 6 to 8, where I can get a slew of receivers. I mean, there's like 30. It's a receiver league now. Let's call it what it is. So I can go get me a great receiver in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round that's going to produce. Higgins, I'll give you an example. Higgins signed this big contract, and I think he went in like the 3rd or 4th round. Yeah. And I was going to choose him, but somebody picked him right before me. Regardless, I can always get a nice, productive receiver in them 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th rounds.
And when it comes to running backs, I like running backs, like you said, Freddie, as studs, but also like running backs that's going to add something extra. Like they catch the ball out the backfield, not just one dimensional. Especially in PPR leagues, you want somebody that's going to be able to get you that extra points. If they're on the field for all 3 downs, you want to run it back like that.
100%. I like it. Thank you, Latasha, for that. Scott Alexander, thanks for joining us all the way from Edinburgh, Scotland. Check that out. Welcome in, man. We appreciate you joining us this morning. And Kevin Wilson said, I'm at 6 as well. If Lamb is there in PPR, should take him too. Yeah, and again, going back to what we were saying, if you're in that PPR league and if you got those big money receivers that are available to you, obviously that's somebody to put there.
Especially in Dallas, where they're just going to consistently try to score as their defense is really shabby, especially if they don't sign Micah Parsons really soon. They're going to have to, and they don't have a great running back. You're going to have to throw the ball. You got 2 stud wide receivers over in Dallas. It's a no-brainer for PPR.
100%. Justin, Tasha wants to know if she should stay away from Justin Jefferson because of the QB, JJ McCarthy. We're not really sure what he's going to do. What do you think?
No, I wouldn't stay away from him. He played with a brand new QB last year, Sam Darnold, just fine. And you got Jordan Addison out for the first 4 games guaranteed. They're going to build a rapport real quick. And, I wouldn't be worried about it at all. And Justin Jefferson is one of those guys that's been sliding a lot. Like, he is slatted in as that number 3 guy. Everybody sees that big question mark next to the questionable and says, I don't know if I want any part of that. So he'll slide to 6, sometimes 7. So I would just grab it.
Yeah, and the question, we don't know necessarily how Jaden McCarthy is going to feed him in this offense. So that's also a question as well. So, like you said, you're going to see him slide a bit. I would have no hesitation, especially in PPR, taking Justin Jefferson in the 6th slot. So under 10%. All right, well, we talked about our strategies. Let's talk about those players and do some player rankings.
Forget my Madden rating. I want to see where TSS Fantasy has me ranked.
All right, we're going to go through these tiers. We'll probably be here 3 hours if we go over everybody. So I'll probably call on one of you guys as we go through these tiers and tell me about somebody you like, don't like, and that kind of good stuff. Let's start out. I'll start out with ladies first. We'll go with Meg. We're going to go with tier 1 on the QBs. So talk to me about this QB tier. I added, now this is from Fantasy Pros, their tiers. I actually added Joe Burrow because I feel like he belongs in this tier. So that was kind of me throwing my little 2 cents in there. But what do you think about this tier? What do you think about some of these guys on here? Is there somebody here you're particularly targeting?
Yeah, I really like Jaden Daniels. Everybody who knows me knows that I'm, a secret Commanders fan at heart. I think he's going to struggle to repeat last season. I think everyone's got these massive high expectations on him. We know that Terry McLaurin's going to get his deal, but we still haven't got that certainty yet. That affects the way that training camps goes sometimes. I've drafted Jaden Daniels a few times. I think he is a stud, but I'm still a little bit nervous about that. Everyone always is shocked when I say this. I'm not a Lamar Jackson fan. I just can't with him. I don't doubt him. I think he is, got skill. He's got talent. He's not for me. I don't like the way that he plays. So I wouldn't touch Lamar Jackson unless it was my last option of a decent QB to take, to be honest. And Josh Allen, he's everyone's sweetheart, isn't he? But he's a bit too much of a nice boy for me. So, yeah, I'm going with Jaden Daniels for this one.
I will just say, like I said, I threw Joe Burrow in there. Basically, the argument Freddie was just making about Dallas's offense, when you talk about the Bengals, that defense is absolutely atrocious. And I could see Joe Burrow throwing for 6,000 yards this season just because of the fact that they're going to have to throw themselves into games to win it. And Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, I definitely see them lightening up this season for sure. Justin, I'm going to send you to QB tier 2 and talk about some of the guys in here. And I guess Joe Burrow is supposed to be in here. That's why it's so thin. So talk about some of these guys in QB tier 2 or somebody you like in particular.
Yeah, no, you did the right thing by putting Joe Burrow in tier 1. Yeah, Joe Burrow is definitely the best pocket passer in the game, period. Tier 2 is that tier where you kind of look at it and you go, okay, I'm very comfortable with these quarterbacks. I'm comfortable kicking the can down to, like Fred said, like the 4th, 5th round. Pat Mahomes, excellent quarterback, but he has been more of a better on-field quarterback than in your stat sheet quarterback the past couple years. Hasn't had that MVP-like year in probably about a good 2-3 years. So hopefully this is the year where it bounces back. They definitely have the weaponry for it. Like me some Baker Mayfield, I love the situation. And like you said with Burrow, no defense and just a ton of offensive weapons. You got to love what that's going to do. The only thing you can set back with it is the new offensive coordinator. You don't know exactly how he's going to run the offense. But, they've got so many weapons there that it's almost like foolproof. I mean, they can't not score at least 30 points a game. And then Bo Nix. Bo Nix was a surprise last year. Dude is just – Sean Payton likes him, and Sean Payton's an offensive whiz. I can't see where this guy could go wrong. at this point. They've added weapons. He was really Cortland Sutton and nobody else last year. And now they've brought on, Pat Bryant. They've brought on J.K. Dobbins. Marvin Mims is coming to his own. R.J. Harvey is there. Evan Ingram. And the defense is really good. So I would say just because I want to score a ton of points, and I don't think with the defense and the run game in Denver, I don't think Bo Nix is going to be that guy who's going to be getting you into the upper echelon of points. I'd probably go Baker or Pat Mahomes. And if we're really, really getting down to it, I'd probably just go Baker just because he's got the chance to go for 300 to 400 yards every single game, because every single game for the Bucs is going to be a struggle on defense. They have invested really nothing into helping that secondary out. It's always injured. So, yeah, if I'm going anybody in this class, it's Baker, but Pat and Bo are not a bad option.
Kevin, we're totally in sync with you. It comes off later, a league winner for Burrow. We're with you 100% on that one, brother. All right, Greg, we'll go to you for QB 3. Give me some of the guys that you like out of this group.
All right, well, real quick, Jason, I want to go back to tier 1 with the quarterbacks because I don't trust Jalen Hurts this year. I know that's a shocker because you got a new OC and you got a lot of things moving parts with Jalen Hurts. So he's kind of shaky for me this year. But going back to tier 3 right here, and I know I'm going to sound like a homer, and Freddie's going to love this, but I think Justin Fields is going to be a good sleeper this year because, as you can see, the Jets plan on running the damn football. They're going to run the ball with those two running backs with Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. But Justin Fields, when he was in with Pittsburgh, when he went 4-2, he was up there. He was probably top 10 quarterback. And I think if he stays healthy with that Jets offense, right, and a revamped offensive line, and the way Aaron Glenn is talking this year, Justin Fields is going to put up some good numbers right there. And also, and I don't know if I'm falling in love with Caleb Williams right now, but the way he looked in preseason, man, he looked so good under Ben Johnson, and he still has all those weapons, and he's looking way better. So I would go with Caleb. And if you are, in the 5th, 6th round, and you haven't picked a quarterback yet, I don't think you go wrong with Justin Fields at all.
All right, I like it. I mean, I'm just going to throw my 2 cents in. Just like we talked about Burrow, and Fred made this argument earlier, I like Dak Prescott out of this group a lot. Their defense is trash. They have no running game. You can expect Dak to be throwing the football a lot this season, especially with the addition of George Pickens as well. So out of this group, they'd be Dak I'd be looking at. All right, Fred, what do you think? We're going to go to QB tier 4. We're scraping the bottom of the barrels right now. What do you think? Anybody you like out of this group, especially America's team, Tua?
Oh, God, I forgot about that mess, bro.
This is we're scraping, but Jordan Love, he's pretty disappointing to me. He throws a lot of picks. If I'm gonna pick anybody out of here, I'm probably gonna go with Matt Stafford. He's shown that he is a winner. He does score points. I know he has a little injury going on right now, and every year he thinks about retiring, but every year he comes back and he does fairly well. He got Puka Nacua over there, Kyron Williams. So out of these particular quarterbacks, for now, I know Jason's going to make fun of me, but yes, we do know that Tua got hurt last year, and he was hurt pretty much during the season. But the year before, when he was actually healthy for a little bit with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle, he lit it up, and they might have to light it up again. I don't know if you guys have been watching over the offseason, but a lot of the cornerbacks for the Dolphins have gotten hurt, so their defense has gotten considerably worse. So now they're in the same problems that the Bengals and the Cowboys have, where they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. So they might have a really, really top 5 offense, especially with those 2 running backs, HN and Tua's going to have to just throw the ball.
Yep, 100%. It's the same argument can be made. I totally agree with you. I like Tua in the season. Trevor Lawrence, also a guy. The addition of Travis Hunter, I'm just surprised. When we look at these tiers, you'll see, BTJ and Travis Hunter up there high. Well, who's the hell throwing the ball? It's going to be Trevor Lawrence. So I don't think he belongs in this tier. It should be maybe a tier above. Anyway, all right, I'll just go through QB tier 5 real quick because Anybody out of this group, I think, Aaron Rodgers, honestly, it's not bad to take a flyer on him late, because who knows what that might look like. Not to think it's going to be gangbusters, but you're not looking for gangbusters when you're down here in this group. And Jackson Dart looks like the real deal, quite frankly. So he's not a bad flyer to take on him as well. All right, so let's go. We'll go back. We'll do it the opposite way, Fred. I'm going to go to you for running back tier 1, and talk about talk about who you like in here. Well, obviously you like them all, but out of the 4, who do you like?
Well, I had the opportunity. I was drafted second yesterday, so I had the opportunity to take Gibbs, McCaffrey. I went with Saquon Barkley because obviously we don't think he's going to have a 2,100-yard season again, but I still believe he's going to have 17, 18, 1,900 yards plus catching. Plus, he does have some big games where he gets 2-3 touchdowns. I think he broke numerous runs for over 30 yards last year. Just about every game I watched him. So, and of course, the offensive line for the Eagles has always been top notch, man. I mean, the push, Hurts running, Barkley running. Like I said, you can't go wrong with Bijan or Jameer, but I went with Barkley because he's a proven winner.
And going back to our QB tiers, Kevin Wilson loved this year. Will finish in tier 3 at the lowest. Make sure you snag him. Advice from the professor. All right, Greg, let's go to you for running back tier 2. Talk about some of the guys you like in here.
Man, of course you love Derrick Henry, right? The guy's over 30 and he's still putting up numbers. And that offense in Baltimore, there's going to be run heavy. I see a lot of that same thing from like last year with him and Lamar. And you can't go wrong with the rookie, right? He's 20-year-old. He's going to be with in a run-heavy offense. He's going to get carries. He's going to get the ball because that's what they like to do in Oakland. So, Las Vegas, my bad. So, but you're going to see him a lot. I love Gentry, and I also like Bucky Irvin. And I know, we're saying that Bucks defense is not that great, but he's a great pass catcher out the backfield as well. He's going to, if they're down, he's going to get those drop-offs, those dump-offs. Jonathan Taylor, I'm scared of, but with now Anthony Richardson being on the bench, he's going to get a lot more goal line carries. So I like Jonathan Taylor. But those are the 3.
Everybody,
Gentry, Henry, Bucky, and I like Jonathan Taylor. I changed my mind. I like
who you didn't like?
I like Brown. I ain't sure about, man. That's a pass heavy offense, man.
Hey, everybody just dropped the whole tier 2.
Listen, we're up at that tier, though. You could make a case for any of these guys, quite frankly.
The least one is Brown, man. Everybody else they're gonna get their numbers.
Yeah, and I like Ashton Jeanty too. I mentioned that on our first show that my bold prediction he was going to break Gale Sayers' all-time scrimmage yard record this season for a rookie. Because quite frankly, all the things that you mentioned, Greg, and again, this is a Chip Kelly offense, so you're going to see them on the field a lot. They're going to be doing. He's just going to get there. Chip Kelly means a lot of plays, which means a lot of touches for Ashton. So I really like him a lot out of this group for sure. Justin, we'll go to you for running back tier 3. What do you think about these guys here, and anyone in particular you want to target out of here?
I'm gonna go ahead and get me some Chuba Hubbard, Omarion Hampton, and James Conner, and then everybody else can kind of go by the wayside. Everybody else I'd be afraid to get if I didn't have a handcuff. Breece Hall, they're already talking about Braylon Allen taking touches from him. James Cook just got his contract, but that regression is coming, man. Josh Allen's going to take some more touchdowns from him, and then Ray Davis is pretty good behind him as well. Alvin Kamara, I don't even think he wants to be there anymore. Kyron Williams, he scares me because his efficiency is not very good. They just run him so much, which tends to lead to injuries at some point. So kind of question mark, maybe get Blake Corum as your handcuff. Ken Walker can't even get on the field. Zach Charbonnet, whoever gets Zach Charbonnet in your draft at the very bottom, I don't even know how the hell this guy is below some of the backups out there. Because I'm this dude is rocking it and nobody seems to care. So if you're getting your drafts going right now, Zach Charbonnet. Fuck Ken Walker, Zach Charbonnet. K9 can't get onto the field, so Zach Charbonnet is going to take it. But yeah, if I'm going anything, it's Hampton because Najee Harris is still playing Captain Jack Sparrow right now. Chuba Hubbard because he just had a balling-ass season on this shitty Carolina team that just got better. So they haven't really gotten so much better on defense, but they're going to be exciting on offense. And then James Conner, he's the constant. I always bash James Conner. I'm done bashing him. He is the constant. He is like Derrick Henry. He is just always in there. He's guaranteed 1,000 yards, and he's just going to be money when you need him. He's going to be playing 14 games.
Justin, well, I'm going to stick with you here real quick. We have a question since we were kind of already on it. Miles Young wants to know, should he trade Puka for Chuba and London? He's thin at running back, but deep at receiver.
Miles, if you can get somebody to give you Chuba and London for Puka, 100%. I think London's going to outperform Puka anyways.
I would smash that fucking button ASAP on that trade. You're getting basically
we do
somewhat equal value back for Puka.
Greg, we're not going to get into that today.
What did he say? I missed it because I was fucking talking.
I said, you know how we do trades, Coop. We know how we do trades.
That's right. Listen, the 2-for-1 is always the best thing, quite frankly. But like I said, you're getting equal value basically somewhat with London and Puka, and then you get Chuba in the mix. Yeah, absolutely. Do that one ASAP. All right, Meg, let's go to you. We're going to go to running back tier 4. Give me some guys that you like out of this one.
I would see. I just going back quickly to tier 3. I'm a stan for James Cook. Like I absolutely, whenever I can pick him up, I pick him up. But I would say Montgomery's a really good shout here. I love David Montgomery over Lions. I also like Pollard as well. Tony Pollard's not a bad shout for if you're at the dregs of the league and you're kind of at the bottom. He seems to be left on the shelf a lot. RJ Harvey for the Broncos as well. I mean, they've not got a lot going on over there. So where you've got less targets, RJ Harvey's a decent shout. The one that I'm avoiding from this tier this year is Isaiah Pacheco. He's just not doing it for me at all this season. Swift, again, not too bad. Henderson as well, actually. I've picked up Henderson a few times. Again, just at the bottom of the leagues where, there's a couple of names that are drifting. Again, somebody said something about Charbonnet there. I think I've got him in about 5 of my 35 leagues. So he's a real good shout for the end. But yeah, Montgomery's probably my best shout from tier 4, I must say.
I have to say I'm opposite on you on Pacheco. I think people are slipping on him. I think, we're coming into a season where last year people are going off of what they saw from him. Seemed to forget he was injured last season. I think he just came back too quickly. Now he's had a full off season to rest. You got the rest of the running back. You got Kareem Hunt hurt. They're talking about Elijah Mitchell is not looking like what they thought he was. I think a lot of people are slipping on Pacheco. I think he's a great value down here at RB tier 4. And I think, like I said, I think he's going to end up in one of these RB tier 3 or 2. It could possibly end up really high. We know when he's healthy, he runs hard. That's the difference with Pacheco last season. When he came back, he wasn't able to run really hard. And I think we're going to see that this season. So I absolutely love it. And yes, I fucked up and I got Kenneth Walker and both tiers. My bad. All right,
I love Caleb Johnson too, Coop. Just to harp in, I love Caleb Johnson, man. Another rookie running back that's going into a great situation. I like Caleb Johnson.
I like RJ Harvey.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right, I'll just go through the rest of these tiers right quick. I mean, if you guys want to shout anybody out, feel free to do so. J.K. Dobbins, stay the hell away. If you've watched our show before, I cannot stand J.K. Dobbins. All everyone talks about is J.K. Dobbins, and all he does is get hurt. I think it's just a waste. I don't know about Joe Mixon, man. I'm just like up in the air on him.
Scared of Mixon, man.
Yeah, it's that.
Nick Chubb. They got a rookie that looks good too.
Yeah, he's not. He's somebody I'm definitely staying away from, and it's ironic because if we would have done this, during the summer, he was up in tier 2, somewhere. So looking at it now, it's like we got the foot injury. Greg just mentioned. You got Nick Chubb. Looks like he's kind of getting back in the mix. So yeah, it's just somebody. Same with Judkins and Spears. The unknown of the injuries, all those things, I'm staying away from. I think out of this group, I think, Justin said it best with Charbonnet is one of the better values. And, with Bigsby and ETN, it's like, okay, well, who is it going to be? Or, is it going to be Bashal too? So those are also some guys I try to avoid as I'm drafting because I like to just go with, somebody that's going to play on the field this season. Anyone else got anybody for RB tier 5?
I think ATM may have a bounce back season, man. I mean, he's in his contract year. He had a down season. The season before, he did pretty good, man. I'm not saying he's going to be upper echelon, but I think he's going to have a bounce back season this year.
Latasha thinks Cam Scatterboo's a stud.
He is a stud. I wouldn't be surprised if Javonte Williams has a quiet good year. Yeah. Because we saw last year Dobbins got put into a good situation, was able to stay healthy. And then he ended up having a good year. So I wouldn't be surprised if Javonte Williams has one of those quiet 1,000-yard years.
Yeah, no, that's a good shout out too. And, now with Brian Robinson Jr., who's also on this list over in San Francisco, Austin Eckler could be a play into that mix as well. So just someone else to, but again, that goes back to what I was saying with ETN and Bigsby. We don't really know what this running back situation is going to look like. Is he still in his role with the third down? And then they, mix in Rodriguez and Mr. Bill. Who knows? So it's one of those, like, when you're doing these drafts, go with your gut when you're down at this point because it's kind of like, okay, some of these guys we're just not quite sure about. All right, so out of this group here, again, we're going back to you're getting basically backups and those types of things. Jalen Wright is injured, and they're haven't quite disclosed what all that's about either. So, to me, out of this group, I don't think I'd be looking for him to back up Achane. It'd be Ollie Gordon, quite frankly. And we were just talking about Nick Chubb just a second ago. Like right now, looking to be the starter of the Texans right now, just because we don't know how long Joe Mixon's going to be out. So all the way down here in tier 6, quite frankly, as I'm looking at this group, he'd be probably one of the people I'd target. You could go with Jerome Ford as well, because right now slated to be the starter. But again, going back to what I was saying before, it's just his ceiling is mid-tier, where some of these other guys, if they find themselves in a starting role, could have a really bigger ceiling. Like, Jaden Blue could be an example, a couple of those guys. So anyone got any for any of these guys in here?
Well, I will go with Jerome Ford, just like you. I think when Quinshon Judkins does come back and he finally signs the contract, now that they're not going to pursue any legal action against him, I think for the first 3-4 weeks until Judkins gets his bearings, Jerome Ford is going to be the starter, and they're going to have to run the ball a lot. You can't let Flacco just throw the ball around. He's up there in age, so I think Ford for the 3-4 first weeks, and then when Judkins gets his feet under him, he'll be the running back taking over for the Browns.
I like that. Kevin Wilson says he's completely out on Stevenson, so just to throw that in there in the mix as well. All right, well, go ahead, Meg. My bad. Sorry.
I also have a real soft spot for Ray Davis. I think his story is absolutely phenomenal. Like, if you know his background and where he comes from, and the fact that he he's also a kicker just for fun. I love Ray Davis. Not necessarily for fantasy, just as a little shout out for one of the good guys.
Well, you're in love with James Cook, so it's always good to have his backup in as well. And you're 100% right, because I do remember reading about that. They were talking about how if you draft Ray Davis and Tyler Bass happens to be injured, then here you go. You're getting some field goal points as well from Ray Davis. It's actually pretty cool. 100%. All right, let's move on to receivers. And, listen, this one's kind of easy, but Meg, will go to you. It's three big names in here. Give me the one, though, out of these three that you would definitely want on your team.
I'm not a massive stand for any of these, right? But if I was gonna pick, I'm going for Jefferson. I think I know we had the questions about obviously McCarthy coming in this season, but like we said, if he can do what he did with Sam Darnold at the helm last season, then I have no doubt in my mind that Jefferson can absolutely nail this season. I don't mind Jamar Chase either. I would avoid CeeDee Lamb because the Cowboys are the Cowboys and they be cowboying. So I just don't touch Cowboys players if I can help it. And that's maybe just my like personal dislike for the chaos over there. I've even when CD's been available, I've not taken him. I've not touched him. So whereas Jefferson, I would Chase, I would definitely have a look at. I know that London's in tier 2, and I'm not trying to be a homer by any stretch here, but I do think we could see him in tier 1. So I want to do a little special shout out for Drake London because he's my guy.
I like it. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're just talking about the trade that was just brought up. I mean, like I said, I feel that's kind of equal value when you talk about Puka and Drake London. All right, let's go. Justin, we'll go to you for receiver tier 2. Give me some of the guys you might be targeting out of here. You're on mute, brother.
We're doing this again, huh?
Yeah, it's not TSS if somebody ain't on mute, right? Usually me or Fred. There's not a guy I don't like on this tier. My concerns are with health, and with Brian Thomas Jr., it's with the health of Trevor Lawrence. I know a lot of people say he's proved he was quarterback proof last year with Mac Jones. But, Brandon Allen, who's the current backup, is actually worse than Mac Jones. So that would worry me a lot about his potential, especially in like standard, because he gets most of his points from PPR. And then Nico Collins never finishing a full season also worries me. Other than that, I like St. Brown. A lot of people are saying that with Jamison Williams, he's going to get lost. He's going to get lost in the shuffle. I don't think at all he's going to get lost in the shuffle. He's the dominant alpha guy. He's the real chain mover there. Drake London, like Meg said, this guy probably deserves to be in tier 1, but he'll probably have to earn that this year with an overall like dominator type season. And then Malik Neighbors, I would already have in tier 1 because this is a dude who just came out as a rookie and absolutely freaking dominated, kept the Giants in a lot of games they shouldn't have been in, did it with like 3 or 4 different quarterbacks, had 170 targets, and was injured like every single week, but still played through it. Like this dude is already a tier 1 wide receiver in my book. And Puka, I think, can be just like London. He can move into tier 1 this year if he can take enough targets away from Devontae Adams.
I like it. Greg, let's go to receiver tier 3. Give me some of the guys you like out of here.
Definitely like T. Higgins, man. Of course, with that offense with Joe Burrow as your quarterback. And, Jamar Chase is going to be sometimes he's going to get double coverage, right? The defense is going to shift to that side. And T. Higgins, if he was on any other team, would be the alpha. So, of course, T. Higgins. I low-key like Devontae Adams with the Rams. Like Justin said earlier, Puka, I think, is not going to have the same type of season. And Devontae is still doing it in his 30s, man. And the way he looked last year with the sorry-ass Jets and with the sorry-ass Raiders, and he still put up numbers, right? So I still like Devontae being in that offense out there, Sean's offense out there in LA. I do love it. I love T. Higgins. JCN, a lot of people are sleeping on him, man. The dude is going to be a target monster, especially with Sam Darnold. Who else is Sam going to throw the ball to? I know Cooper Kupp is there, but it ain't the same Cooper Kupp, right? JCN, I love JCN as well. Garrett Wilson, I'm going to be a little down on Garrett because I think the Jets are going to be running the ball heavy. And like I said earlier with Philly, A.J. Brown, new offensive coordinator. They revamped that offensive line. I'm not sure he's going to be putting up the numbers like he did last year. And Jason, I'm not talking on Tyreek Hill, so you can keep going.
Yeah, yesterday, he was available. I think it was 4th or 5th round, and I was joking with the guy sitting next to me at the draft, and I'm like, it's almost like Tyreek was waving at me and was like, "Hey, I'm still here." And I had to take him, man. As Fred said, we like points on our team. Tyreek Hill is a point go getter. And Kevin Wilson says neighbor's 100%. He's balling out. 107 catches last year and no QB last year. So yeah, I'm with you. And he likes JSN as well, Mr. Seahawks homer. All right, let's go to Fred for receiver tier 4. Tell me about some of the guys you like in this group.
Let's see here. Nope. Don't know where McLaurin's at.
Preparation is always.
I would definitely take McLaurin, but we don't know what's going on with him. Oh, okay. I did like DJ Moore. I think he's going to be the go-to receiver for Caleb Williams. He is the number 1. I heard they have good rapport with each other. I do like DJ Moore. We have to go with DK Metcalf, right? He actually signed a big contract, and him and Rodgers were practicing, and Rodgers will throw the ball, and he has to go to Metcalf. So I think he'll go with McLaurin. I don't care if he didn't sign his contract yet. Definitely Metcalf. And then, reliable. I make fun of Mike Evans all the time, but he always catches the ball, man. Him and Baker's been there together for years. He's that big 6'4", just throw it up in the air. I'm a catch the ball receiver. So I don't think for this being a tier 4 receiver, and this is what I was talking about. Look at all the studs that you can get, and we're talking about tier 4 of receivers. So that just proves the point of what I was talking about earlier when it comes to your draft.
Yep, that's actually 100% accurate. I went yesterday, actually, I went running back, and still had some stud receivers. To me, Mike Evans doesn't even belong here with Chris Godwin's injury. And Mecca Buka's, I'm sure he's great, but, he's still a rookie. And you got Mike Evans, the vet of all vets on this roster. I just feel like he's in for a big season, and especially in the early portions of the season as well. So I love Mike Evans out of this group. Marvin Harrison Jr., I think, also may take a step up in his next season. So I do like that as well. Meg, let's go back to you for receiver tier 5 here. Tell me, give some guys in here that you like.
Have Luke. I just, as an FYI, I've picked up McLaurin plenty of times early on because I do think he's bomb. I like Roma Duns because, let's be honest, the Bears they should be doing better than they are. And I like him. I don't think Stefan Diggs is making it through the whole season without getting arrested or cut. So I'm not touching that with a barge pole. Like, not a chance. Olave, again, there's nobody there. Like, there's nobody else there. He could get some decent points up there for just being the only option. Pickens is another good shout. Let's have a look. And I do like Waddle. I've picked Waddle up twice actually, because again, I just think he's one of those ones that people sleep on a little bit. Zay Flowers, I don't mind. He wouldn't be my first choice, but if he's still there and I'm right at the bottom, then I'll take him. Rice is a bit unpredictable for me. Travis Hunter, like, can we just tier 5? Really? I reckon he's going to end up higher than that. Yeah, I'm going for Roma Duns as my top pick out of that lot. But I do think Olave. I mean, they need a quarterback, but Olave's a good shout as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. There's again, going back, good value here. Xavier Worthy is somebody that I feel like, with Ray Rice suspension possibly looming in the mix here. And you see Xavier Worthy is like a video game character, watching him out there with his speed. So he could be somebody that could, his ceiling could be really big for you. You could get him at such a low value. A lot of talk about Jalen Waddle in this mix because of the off-season stuff with Tyreek and all that kind of good stuff. Again, I'm going back to what Fred and I were talking about earlier, these teams that that are going to have to throw the football. So to me, George Pickens, Waddle, I do like Xavier Worthy. And I agree with you. Travis Hunter could really have a big season this year as well. So, it's a decent mix down here still. Then again, that's the point of doing these drafts and going running back first, is there's a lot of value down here. Speaking of value,
Riddle, man, Calvin Riddle, man. I think with him and Cam Ward, they develop a nice rapport the preseason, man. Calvin Riley. So I think people sleeping on him, man. I think if you could get him in these lower rounds, he's going to get a lot of targets from Cam Ward, man.
Well, Tasha with me on that. I think Worthy going to cash in without Rice. I told him we with you on that.
Right.
Justin, receiver tier, what are we on? Six now. Talk about that. Let me bring it up, of course. So talk about some of the guys you like in here.
Wow, the best of the rest over here. I'll tell you what. I'm a big Deebo Samuel hater. But, the more and more that Terry McLaurin does not sign it and the news is not very good about him getting in and signing it, like nobody seems to be talking as far as the agency and the team, so much for being different than Dan Snyder. But, I tend to go, he might not be a bad deal as a flex for a couple games because he's going to be this offense. I don't think he's going to be worth more than a couple games, but it might be kind of like Rashee Rice, where you get him and you go, oh, okay, he's great for like 4 games, and then instead of being suspended, he's just injured the rest of the season. Now that we're talking about good 49ers, Ricky Pearsall, damn you, Greg, is a phenomenal play. I freaking loved Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, you see why I got him at too, boy.
Bro, you were picking 2 ahead of me, and I was like pissed that you and Nick were there the entire time. You teased me, you let it get all the way to 10, and I'm like, oh shit, these idiots are gonna let me get Ricky Pearsall, and then Greg snaps. I'm like, God damn it, Greg.
Listen, man, he looks good, bro. He looks good.
He's gonna be up in those, he's gonna be like in tier 3 if they give him the entire season. He's gonna be good. Khalil Shakir kind of worries me with the ankle injury. He's one of those floor players. As far as upside goes, I think Ibuka is a real upside play because he's got that middle of the field. Godwin's not going to be back for the first month. And then you don't know if he does really good, they might have to put Godwin on the perimeter because they might not be able to take him off the field. He's looked good with Baker out there. And then as far as everybody else just kind of falls into the same category of, maybe. Except for us, we'll say Matthew Golden. Just because they're going to try and use him like they were going to use Christian Watson. So that means they're going to stretch the field. There's going to be some big play opportunities there. Matthew Golden is one guy I definitely want to get invested in the later rounds because he's the type of guy who can pull off a 60-yard touchdown a game.
Yeah, I like Mecca a lot, especially we talked about Chris Godwin's injury. Who knows when he'll be back, and it takes time for him to start ramping up to get into football shape as well. So I like Emeka a lot. And going back to the first show we did this summer, I love me some Deebo. I mean, look, the Redskins threw more receiver screens than anyone last season. And hello, what does Deebo like to do? Plus, we've seen in the preseason, they're already handing the ball off to him as well. So I just think he's a great value. Latasha thinks, by the way, Shakir is going to be the go-to for Allen this season. So we will see.
He was the go-to last year, and it still wasn't very good.
That's true. They spread the ball a lot. So, just what Josh does. Plus, he likes to run it, too. Greg, receiver tier 7. This will be the wrap-up here.
There's more.
What are you doing to me, bro?
I know. I'm sorry. Just give me a couple out of here that you might want to talk about.
I like Coleman, man. He's going to be the number 1 in Buffalo, man. I like Keon Coleman a lot. Hearing good things about him from preseason, from camp. I think Keon Coleman is going to be Josh Allen's go-to, man. Big receiver. He's going to be a red zone threat. I like Keon Coleman. People are sleeping on Romeo Doubs, man. I don't know why people are sleeping on Romeo Doubs. He's not He's not pretty, he's not flashy, but he puts up numbers, man. And I'm not talking about extravagant numbers like 20 points a game, but he's solid. Jordan Love looks for Romeo Dobbs in those situations. And, I hear things, Coop, I hear things. And I'm hearing Adam Thielen is on the trading block to go back to Minnesota with, Jordan Addison being suspended. So if Thielen ends back in Minnesota, that would be a good pickup as well. So I like those three out of this bunch right here. I would go Coleman, Dobbs, and Adam Thielen.
I like it. I think Cedric Tillman actually out of this group too is somebody else that people are a little bit sleeping on. He's a good deep threat. Again, it is the Browns, so it is what it is. But you have Deontay Johnson struggling a bit as always, so he could be someone else that could be out of this group. And a lot of people are always talking about Pop Douglas. Whatever. I feel like he's a one-trick pony, and if this offense isn't feeding that deep ball, I don't, we'll see. I think he's one of those guys that sparingly will have decent games. All right, last tier group we're going to go through. Fred, we'll start with you, of course, because it's tight ends. Why not? Give me the guy here you target out of this tier.
I'll tell you who I did target. I had a choice between Bowers and McBride, and I picked McBride. The only reason I picked McBride because I had a vision in my head of drafting Kyler Murray, and I did get Kyler Murray, so I have a good little combo, Murray to McBride. He's just a stud, man. I mean, even though they had Marvin Harrison Jr., this guy put up some points. Don't get me wrong, Bowers is great. He is great, but Gino's over there now. I don't know how it's going to work out. I want to see how the next year goes with Murray and McBride. I went McBride.
I like it. I will just say I was really amped up about George Kittle in this draft. I remember going to sleep and was like, man, the one thing I want to grab is George Kittle out of this draft. I just feel like, Justin brought up what a great value Ricky Pearsall is. And not only because he looks good, but you got the uncertainty of the other receivers on this team. So to me, George Kittle right now is their number 2 guy, which I'll take at a at tight end level.
You went to sleep thinking about Kittle and what you want to grab on him.
Dude, I was.
Who wants to pull that hair?
Justin, was that what your comment was? I saw your finger. I was going to say something.
Shit.
Yeah.
My comment was he's the number 1 guy on that team.
Well, yeah, exactly. So it's just a good value for me at tight end, and I got him at a pretty decent round as well. So I like George Kittle a lot this year. All right, we'll work our way back. Greg, go to tier 2 here. So talk about somebody you like in here.
I like Kelsey, man. I think Kelsey's going to have a bounce back season. I love Kelsey. And, of course, Mark Andrews. You can't go wrong with those old reliable tight ends. But Evan Ingram, I'll say keep an eye on him in that Denver offense with Bo Nix and, that offense, man. But I would definitely go with old reliable Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. Can't go wrong.
Okay, I like it. Let's go, Meg, here with tight end tier 3. What do you think? Who do you like out of this group?
I don't know why I thought that Pitts was in this one, so I would have gone for Pitts. But Dalton Kincaid is a good shout, I think. I feel like I sound like a Bills fan today. I'm not a Bills fan. I just keep going for Bills players. I like Dallas Goedert as well, to be fair, and Tucker Kraft. Colson Loveland, take or leave. Yeah, Dalton Kincaid would be my choice from that. But I do think that Kyle Pitts is going to be in that tier, or maybe even sneak tier 2 this year, because if anybody's watched him in any of the training camp stuff, obviously I've been watching as much as I can. The connection between Pitts and Penix is like unbelievable. We're seeing Pitts playing back to his rookie season in training camp with the way that he is. So I think he belongs in that tier, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, Dalton Kincaid, I've picked him up a few times where I can on this tier.
Caleb says Bowers is in his own tier. I agree with you, Caleb, because look, it was the same argument I made about Kittle. Jacoby Myers, I mean, that's their number 1 target right now with the Raiders. So which actually I take that back. He's their number 2 target because their number 1 is Brock Bowers. So I think that's a good call. I think he's on one of those upper echelon tight ends for sure. Justin, we're all the way down here at tier 4. Oh, real quick, I want to mention too that if you wait on tight end, I'd be happy with any one of these guys, quite frankly. Maybe Goddard be the only one that I might, hesitate a little because I could probably wait a little bit longer. But Tucker Kraft looks great. You got Jake Ferguson. We just talked about how they're going to throw a lot in this offense. Tyler Warren, I mean, everyone's on him. And quite frankly, why not? There's uncertainty there with Josh Downs being hurt. Who that target's going to be. You've seen him feed him in the preseason. And the same with Loveland. We've seen that in the preseason as well, that they're feeding him as well. So any of these guys, if you're waiting on tight end, I think, you'll be good to go as far as building the rest of your roster. All right, Justin, we're down at tier 4. Oh, my goodness. I mean, poor Kyle is in tier 4. But what do you think?
Shocking.
Well, I'll let Meg talk about Kyle Pitts because I have nothing good to say about Kyle Pitts. But I will say, shout out Caleb. These guys let me get Brock Bowers in the 4th round. That's why I'm going to be winning this league this year. I'm sorry, I talked the most shit out of the entire game. But anyways, as far as this tier goes, I wish I could just not see this. I wish I could just burn this list right here. Because if you're waiting this far down, you might as well get 2 or 3 of these guys because you're going to be playing roulette the entire time. Kyle Pitts to me is just he's just never been factored into this offense. This offense has never treated him good. They've tried to make him a perimeter receiver. He's not fast enough to be a perimeter receiver. They try to put him inline blocking. He's not a good blocker. He just, for some reason, he's always going to be the 3rd option no matter who else is on the team. Like Darnell Mooney last year took over the 2nd option. He was 3rd. If even that, some people would even see Bijan's a better option than him at this point. So I just can't see a world where Kyle Pitts gets much better unless he goes somewhere else.
Don't sleep. I think he's gonna have a bounce back season too. I agree with Meg, man. Penix and him.
So what's a bounce back season? He actually gets like 700 yards and a touchdown this year. What's a bounce back season?
Bro, he's been developing with Penix, man, and Penix is looking for him, letting you know that, man. The talent is there. The talent is there. He just got to get a quarterback that's going to throw him the damn ball.
Latasha likes Likely out of this group. With his injury concern, that's what kind of made me, he's not even being drafted right now because of his injury. And again, I think it's, I apologize, I don't have it here in front of me, but I think it's at least 3 to 4 weeks till he's back in the fold. But he would be somebody I'm sure we're going to be talking about as a waiver wire pickup as we move on here. But I mean, the only thing I just want to say is that out of this group, like, I feel like there's a lot. I think one of these guys earn some respect, and that's Zach Ertz. I mean, I know he's old, but last season, man, this guy put on a decent year for his age, quite frankly. And, again, we've talked about Terry McLaurin not being back yet. So, who else are they going to throw it to other than Debo? So Zach Ertz, especially in the beginning part of this season, I think could be a good value if you've waited this long to get a tight end. I mean, out of this group, either Pitts or Ertz, I agree, I think is a good value.
Freiermuth had almost 700 yards, which doesn't seem like a lot, but the 7 touchdowns that were attached to him,
right?
That did good. So, and then, like I said, you got it with Rodgers over there. I'm pretty sure he's gonna have to let the ball go pretty quickly. So maybe Freiermuth would be something to look at.
I'm interested in Mason Taylor too, because the Jets need a really good pass catcher number 2, and that dude's a stud. He was a stud out of college, so I think he could probably transition to something good.
Justin saying something nice about the Jets.
Well, it's funny because I think it was my last. No, it wasn't my kicker. It was my last pick, but the second to last pick, I picked Mason Taylor. So you can get him extremely late, and I only grabbed him just because of that. I know right now he's slated to be the number 2, but any of these guys are probably going to end up streaming at some point. So you're going to be watching matchups and those types of things. So most of these guys you'll end up not even having to draft, and somebody you can end up streaming later on in the season. So all right. Hey, look, we're back already. All right. So we talked about our tiers. Those are what we're looking at going into our drafts going in the season. Now, those who have drafted, and I'll just say this again, if you have a draft done, send it in to us. We're going to be doing some more draft grading next Friday night as well. But for right now, we got one in. We have a draft, and I'll explain a little bit of the scoring system when we start it up. So let's grade some drafts.
It's time to grade your drafts by TSS Fantasy.
All right, I was trying to look up because Caleb had sent me the scoring system. Now I got to find his damn message. Too many damn messages on Instagram. All right, so this is a half PPR league, and the lineup is 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 1 flex, and 1 tight end. So just keep that in mind as we look at these these teams right quick. And Greg's already complaining we're over an hour, so we'll get this.
We got.
All right, let's go first
right now.
Hey, trust me, I'm with you. All right, let's go first with Gertie on backwards. Let's go. I forgot what the hell order we went in here, but we'll go with Meg. We'll start with Meg here with Gertie. What do you think of this team? Give me a letter grade for Gertie on backwards.
Oh, I'm going for a B+ on this one. I would say. I'm not feeling Pat Mahomes this season. I know it's controversial. Don't really care. Or Travis Kelce, in fairness. But you've got some decent shouts there. Again, CMC's a risk, but James Cook, you know that I love him. Terry McLaurin, Roma Downs. Yeah, I would give that a B+. I think there's some risks in there. I think having Mahomes and Kelce on your teams is risky, and obviously McCaffrey as well. But there are some decent shouts there. Puka, I'm not sure on. I tend to avoid. RJ Harvey, decent. There is some good players. There's some good, but B+ on that one.
All right, Gertie got a B+ from Meg. I also forgot to mention this is a 5-point per touchdown thrown for your QBs, and then it's half a point or 0.5 points per passing yard as well. So a little bit more on the touchdown, a little bit less on the yardage kind of deal. So all right, so going around the room just real quick letter grade for this team. Justin, what's your grade for Gertie?
I'll stick to a B.
Fred?
C+.
Greg?
I agree with Freddie. It's C+, man. The running backs is kind of shaky.
Yeah, this team was good 2 years ago.
2 years ago, the team was
There's
good.
some solid players, but it's like,
McCaffrey
goes down.
McCaffrey goes down. Mahomes and Kelce weren't the same. I mean, Harvey's your let's see. Now I'm thinking about it. Now it's a fucking C. Oh, sorry.
I think if you have a resurgence with Mahomes and Kelce, I mean, this could be this could be that B+ where Meg is talking, but definitely some question marks at the running back position. But again, if these players bounce back, McCaffrey, Mahomes, Kelce, if these guys are all bounce back candidates, you should look at a big season.
All right, Jason, you convinced me C+ again.
Okay, so yeah, we gotta always with the good spin anyway.
Worse than a politician with your flip flops, bro.
Justin, let's go to. I'll go to you for this next one from the Rust Lords. What do you think of this squad?
Oh man, it's deteriorating fast. Yeah, Russ.
You gotta be a Philly fan. Look at all the Eagles on there, bro.
Homer, bro. Homer.
I would say this is probably what I'm feeling a C plus would be. This is a very average, mediocre type of team. It's kind of middle of the road. Can strive to be higher, but really they're gonna probably level out about just barely making the playoffs, if not missing it.
Fred, what do you quick letter grades from the rest? What do you think, Fred?
Yeah, I'm good. This guy's a homer. Hurts, Barkley, Smith. Nah, this a C, bro. And his tight ends is trash. Like, bro, I don't know what he did, bro.
What'd you say,
He fucking lives in Philly.
Greg, what do you think? Greg?
C minus, man.
Yeah, bro. I said a C.
I don't trust the Eagles this year, man. I don't trust the OC and the offensive line. So you got too many Eagles on here, and like Freddie said, your tight ends are trash.
Yeah,
Greg, what's your grade?
Yeah, I'm going to give that a C. To be fair, there's some big hitters, but then the rest of your points aren't coming from anywhere. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I again, just to kind of caveat what you guys were saying, it's too reliant on the same team is not a good thing, especially having QB running back on the same team. Usually it's one or the other, depending on who you have. I mean, obviously Hurts and Barkley are both going to get the point. But I'm gonna go a little bit more, but I'm gonna give them B minus because when the Eagles do have good games, he's gonna be hard to touch. So I'm gonna go B minus on your squad. I'm always the optimist on the grades anyway. All right, let's go to you, Greg, for this next one. The Silly Gooses.
Oh my God.
Squad. He's got 3 QBs on this one. Indeed, he's ready for some backup situations.
Jason, you always do this to me, bro. Like, dude, I'm not coming back, man. Like, this dude starting running back is Breece Hall and DeAndre Swift. And he got Mixon that's hurt. Oh man, I mean the bright spot is he got Jamar Chase. His receivers are decent. Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams. I give him that, but he's gonna die. He's in running back hell, bro.
But he's only getting 0.5 on the yard, right?
Your starting running back is
why three quarterbacks?
And you got Breece, but you got Breece Hall as your starting running back. What?
Caleb, who sent these in, did give some updates in the comments on some of these teams, but I didn't put them up there because we're just grading the draft itself.
All right. I give him a D plus.
Oof. My goodness! All right, around the room.
You can't have Breece Hall and DeAndre Swift as your starting running backs. I'm sorry. And then
Brad, what do you think?
I'm gonna go for not too far off. I like the Murray McBride combo, like I said earlier, and of course Jamar Chase is gonna get you points. So let's go with C minus.
Nah, bro.
Justin, what do you think?
Nah, bro.
I'm gonna be with Greg over here. I'm gonna say D plus because you just can't go in with you can't overstock on a position that you don't need to overstock. Quarterback. Come on, man. You could have used that on another running back. Go get yourself some Zach Charbonnet. I know he was out there. Yeah, man. And then Jordan Addison suspended on top of that. Come on, dude. Come on.
What are you doing?
I like the receiving core itself. You can wait on Addison, quite frankly, with the
poor silly gooses. You silly
goose, all right.
Yeah, I'm sticking with a D plus on this one. I would be heartbroken if this was my team, if I'm being honest. Did it go on my spot? Thanks.
Someone's goose is cooked.
I'm gonna give him again being optimistic. I'll give him a C plus because of the strength.
Damn, Jason.
He's got the strength at the receiver position, plus good combo with Murray McBride. He could possibly make some moves with those receivers that he has, and beef up that running back core. I'll give him a C plus on that one. All right,
trade one of the quarterbacks.
There's optimism, and then there's straight lying to the people. Like, let's come on, bro.
This is just showing the people.
It's a C minus, bro.
Yeah, that was the optimistic guy. C minus.
Hey, listen, I was the good substitute when, the cool one when it came in. We were watching movies and doing stuff like that. All right, let's go to Fred for this next one, the Alaskan Bullworms. What do you think of this one?
I'm gonna go with a C plus. Jaden Daniels. I mean, he should be good. He's gonna have to do a weekly choice of him and Caleb Williams. John T is good. We talked about Walker, but I like that he also has Tracy. He's also a number one. So I'm going with a C plus. Amon Brown is always good, and DJ Moore is gonna be the number one receiver. So it's decent. That's about it.
Fred's the tough grader. That's all I got to say. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think I'm gonna stick with I think this probably got to be at tops a B minus. I think you really could have just not drafted Higgins and gotten another running back. Loveland and Hawkinson almost seem like the same dude as far as like value goes.
Mhm.
There's not really a huge uptick in their value. I mean, your quarterbacks look good. Top end of your running backs look okay. I think you probably should have got Walker handcuffed, but yeah, I mean, and your wide receivers are kind of after Brown. So I'll say B minus. B minus.
I said
Optimism.
Meg, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going for B minus on this one. I think running back needs some work. We've seen John Tay, we've seen what he can do in terms of college ball and training camp preseason and stuff. We didn't see a lot of him doing the things that he could do well in preseason. So I feel like that's a bit of a risk to be putting too much onus on him. So B minus at the minute, I would say, for that one.
Greg, how about you?
I'm gonna be a Coop right now. I like this team, man. I'm gonna give it a B plus fringe A. I like the running back. I'm gonna tell you why. I like the running backs because they're all starting running backs, right? You got Jonte. If Kenneth Walker stays healthy, Kenneth Walker is a home run hitter. Tyrone Tracy in the Giants' backfield has no one else because Scatterborough's hurt in preseason, so we don't know what he's gonna do. And I tell you, Travis Etienne is in a contract year. He's trying to get that money. He's going to have a decent season. And you can't go wrong with Amon St. Brown in a PPR, half a point PPR. He's going to put up numbers. And you know me, I love me some Jaden Daniels, boy. So, you got Jaden Daniels on your team. Yeah, you're going to get some extra points from me. So this is a B plus fringe A minus. I like, B plus. I like that.
Yeah, I'm with you, Greg. I'm going B plus. And don't forget, a little bit less onus on the QB being five points for touchdowns and 0.05 for yards. So you want the guys that get the running yards as well at the QB slot in this particular league. So I like the Jaden Daniels. I like Hawkinson this year and Colson Loveland. So I think that's great too. And I like Ashton Genty. And like you mentioned, if Walker stays healthy, he's going to put up some big points. And, again, some of these guys like Tetro McMillan, Chris Olave, he obviously got pretty late. So those are guys that could put in some good points as well. So, yeah, I'm going B plus on this. I'm feeling it with you. All right, let's go to Meg. We'll go back to you. This is for Chang Dynasty. What do you think of this one?
Let's have a look. Okay. I'm not mad at this one, to be fair. I mean, you can't really go wrong with Josh Allen at the minute. Brock Bowers as well. My guy, Montgomery's on there. You know what? I'm going to give this an A minus. I think this has legs. I also like Cooper Kupp, by the way. I've not mentioned that so far, but I have picked him up late a few times, and people sleep on him. I think he's pretty decent. Yeah, I'm going A minus on this one. I take Dak Prescott out the picture completely because let's be honest, after game 2, he's probably going to be injured. But you've got some decent backups there. You're not doing too badly on that one.
Yeah, it's not bad. I like it. Justin, what say you quick grades for this one?
Quick grade is a C. It's just a C. There's nothing spectacular about this draft. A-Chain is injury prone. You got great quarterbacks, but in a single QB league, that doesn't really help you. And then as far as wide receivers, it's just a ton of question marks, except for I think Worthy might bust out this year. But other than that, and Bowers, it's kind of just a C. It's middle of the road.
Fred, what do you think?
I agree with Meg. I kind of like this team. I like Bowers, Allen, Achane. I'm going with A minus.
Greg?
Can I say incomplete?
Why? Was he
I'm gonna
missing
tell
a
you
kicker?
why. Let me tell you why. Because
All right,
the
Matt,
running back position could go either way due to injuries, right? If he loses Achane, he doesn't have Achane's backup. If Gibbs gets hurt, Montgomery's going to get the majority of those carries. If CMC gets hurt, Brian Robinson is going to be a beast. And if Mason and Benson, they're behind decent running backs. If Connors goes down, Benson is going to be win your league, right? So and Mason, if he's behind Aaron Jones, right? Aaron Jones is injury prone too. So what I'm saying is it can go either way with his running backs. Injury wise, if he gets an injury, he can either go up, or if he gets an injury, he can go down. You know what I'm saying? So I say a C. And
But we got to go by what he drafted. And he drafted.
All right, but I'm just saying, Freddie. If you think about it, right? If CMC goes down, he has CMC's backup, right? If Gibbs go down, he has Montgomery, and Montgomery. We've seen when Gibbs went down, Montgomery puts up numbers, and Trey Benson's just sitting there waiting for Connor to go down. Connor may miss 2 or 3 games, and Benson will come in and take those carries. So I'm like, it can go either way with this team due to injury. So I'm just saying, it's like I say a C+, and it's just because of the way the injuries could play out.
I'm with Meg on this. I really like this team. I'm going A minus as well. Josh Allen can't go wrong. Bowers can't go wrong. I like the backup. He's got a backup stack with Dak Prescott and Ferguson, so I like that also. Justin, I keep hearing people talking about Achane injury prone. Played every fucking game last year, so I don't know what the hell you guys keep talking about. So Montgomery, again, I'm gonna go through the whole team, but I like this team. It's an A minus for sure.
Justin, you struck a nerve.
He's injury prone. I keep hearing that.
What's that Q mean right beside his name?
Well, that's right now. That don't mean he's injury prone just because he has something flared up during preseason. Get the hell out of here. I like Shane's dynasty team. A minus for me. All right, Justin, you're up for Falk You Up. What do you think of this one?
Ooh.
Let me see.
I low-key love how top-heavy this team is. This team is so freaking top-heavy. I mean, all you got to do now is go trade for another running back, go send Waddle somewhere for another running back, and you're set. Yeah, or send Judy somewhere for another running back, and you're set. It's beautiful.
I like this team.
Yeah, this is the only A that I've given so far, and it might be an A+ because Gibbs, Henry,
them up.
Oh,
yeah, he's gonna fuck them up for sure. Hey,
bro. Yeah.
Quick grades, Fred. What do you think?
This is an A. Points. Bro, Gibbs and Henry, how the hell did he get that?
Facts, bro.
What the hell? And Burrow? Bro.
Greg?
Bro.
This is an A, man.
Hell
Gibbs,
yeah.
Henry, Drake London is going to be a target beast in Atlanta. Metcalf, Aaron Rodgers going to be looking for him. Man, Jalen Waddle. Ooh, I like this, man. I really like this team right here. And like Justin said, you could trade one of these receivers and get a running back. And Javonte, don't sleep on Javonte in Dallas, man. I like this team. I do.
Meg?
Yeah, I'm going for it. The only reason I'm not giving this an A+ is because I'd like to see a couple more running backs there just as backups. So I'm giving it an A, but yeah, that is our solid team. My boy Drake London going to do good things this season.
It's funny because I didn't want to say anything before I pulled this up, but this was when I did these graphics. I was like, oh, this is the one right here. Like, this is definite A+ for me as well. Like you said, it could use some depth at the running back, but man, does he have ammunition to do that. So I really, really like the way this team is set up, not just in the starting 5 that are starting lineup he's going to have, but also the fact the longevity of this team could definitely see this lasting all season long. So I really do like this team a lot. All right, Greg, we'll go to you. Maybe a little better one. Old McDonald's from the last one. What do you think of this squad?
Let me see. You got Baker, you got Bijan, Kyron. I'm gonna get this a B-. I like the running backs on here. I like the running backs.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what did I do? I like Bijan, I like Kyron, and I like Bucky Irvin. And low key, Tony Pollard is going to eat in Tennessee with with Spears being out for a little bit with
That's a good
that
team.
injury. He has a solid team too, man. I'm gonna get us a B plus. We got Mike Evans, reliable. George Pickens, his starting receivers are good, and he has good running backs as well. That's pretty solid, man.
Bro, he
I like
has
this.
the
I say-
combo Mayfield to Evans.
Yeah.
So Fred, quick grades. What do you think?
Yo, this is another B plus teetering on A minus. They might meet in the championship if they're in different divisions. Because B, Rajon, Kyrie, and Bucky, they're all number ones. You got Kittle, who Jason loves. I like that Mayfield to Evans combo. Like, bro, this is a decent team here. A minus.
I like it. Justin, what do you think?
That's exactly what I was going to say, Fred. This is your championship team right here. This is definitely an A minus. I don't think it's as good as the other one, but it's more like depth wise. It's stacked. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
A.
Meg?
Yeah, I'm going A minus on this one. I think people are sleeping on Matthew Golden as well. So George Kittle in there as well. So yeah, A minus for me.
Yeah, I'm concur. I'm just gonna go flat A on this. I got A plus from Walkie because that's my favorite. This is probably my second favorite here. With the stack, as Fred mentioned, with Mayfield and Evans. I've loved Kittle. Got Bijan. Like, hello, loving this team for sure. All righty, let's go to Fred for the Omaha Irishman. What do you think of this squad?
Okay, so this is not a bad squad neither. I like the Jackson to Andrews combo. Jonathan Taylor's a 1. Yes, they're gonna stack the box, but that didn't matter to him last year. He still scored. Hampton, it's his first season. I don't know what to think about him yet. And then, of course, you got Justin Jefferson, and the only guy that Fields knows how to throw to, which is Garrett Wilson. So I'm giving this a solid B. Not as good as the other teams, but he'll be in the playoffs.
Meg, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going B minus on this one. I running backs I'd like to see a little bit more at. Stacked at wide receiver. I've already spoken about Lamar Jackson and obviously having Mark Andrews there as well. Yeah, B minus.
Justin?
Yeah, it's like a rock solid B. There's a lot of potential here. Probably gonna be a playoff team, but he's just kind of banking on some potential. So I'll give it some B. I'm going to B.
Greg, what do you think?
B minus, man. Just the question marks at running back. You got Caleb Johnson, Hampton, Spears, Najee. Those we don't know what's going to happen with those two at the bottom. But it's pretty solid at receiver. Jefferson, Wilson, really not too bad. Travis Hunter, and you can't go wrong with Lamar. Lamar's going to give you 25, 26 points easy. So like B minus, yeah. Solid.
Yeah, and I like the stack with Andrews, especially again we talked about likely being injured for a little bit, so you're going to have Andrews being a big target again. Everyone seems to be slipping on Andrews because of that drop last season. I mean, it was one drop; he still had a great season with likely in the mix. So I like Andrews a lot, and as you mentioned, yes, there's some question marks about Najee and Spears, but he has now the monopoly of the Chargers backfield, and we know that the Chargers are going to run the football. So I like that. And as Fred mentioned, Jonathan Taylor is going to see 7 in the box, but he's used to that. So he's still going to put up big numbers, and he's stacked at receiver. So it's a solid B for me. This team could end up also in the mix here down the stretch as well. All righty, let's go, Meg. We'll start with you for Marcus Finch. What do you think of this lineup?
Let's have a look. Jeez.
Come on, Fred. Come on.
I mean, right. I'm going to give this a C minus. I like Bo Nix, but realistically, I'm struggling. Tyler Algier, what a guy. Zach Charbonnet's on there. What a guy. Yeah, I'm trying to be nice. But Alvin Kamara is your RB1. Struggling to find the positives here. Bo Nix, great guy, right? You've got a quarterback there. It's going to get you some points. Woo.
You didn't. She didn't convince me about that C minus.
I think she was struggling just to give it that. What do you think, Justin?
Wow. Well, I hate to contradict Meg on this one, but I actually like this team. I think this team has got some potential in there. Yeah.
Don't try to convince us.
No, I'm not going to convince you because it ain't going to work. But Nabers, Collins, McConkey, Rice, Pearsall, great wide receiver choices. Your top 4 running backs, good choices. And then Nix to Ingram, why the frick not? And the Finches have never made the playoffs? Well, shit, maybe this is the year they make it in. What is it, 6 to make it in? I think she'll finish number 6. I'll go with a B minus.
Fred, what do you think?
This is an F.
No,
this is bad, bro.
Nah.
Bro. This is Nick's second year. Hopefully, he gets you 18 points a game. We don't know about Ingram. Kamara's old. We know somebody in the league that traded him. We made fun of the guy. All he has is neighbors. Bro, all he has is neighbors, Colin and Conkey, and combined that's 30 points. This guy might score 60 points a game. He just donated his money. You're getting an F. Okay, sorry, F plus.
Don't
damn. I guess we can consider him the Miami Rattlers of the.
Bro, Kamara is done, bro. He has nobody to throw to him. They're not gonna
don't do that, bro.
Well, the funny thing is, we've everything we've seen from these teams. Everyone's like, "Where's the depth at running back?" Well, I think because Maticus
he
Finch
took all the rest of the scrubs that were there.
Fred, this guy started drafting running back in like the 7th round.
Running backs. Look, you can see why he hasn't made the playoffs, right?
Dude, who was his first round pick?
Hold on, Fred. Let me get my piece out.
Tell me who he picked first in the first round.
Neighbors. It had to be Neighbors. Had to be.
Look, Neighbors.
He probably was like 11. He probably was like at the end of the round. But I'm gonna be like this. I'm not gonna trash him like Freddie did, right? I like the receivers. He has some pretty solid receivers right there. Neighbors, Collins, McConkey, Rashee Rice when he comes back. He got Ricky Pearsall who could be the number 1 wide receiver in San Fran. Pacheco could have a bounce back season. Charbonnet is one injury away from being the starting running back. I'm gonna give this a C minus, man, not an F.
Rashee Rice,
because come on,
6-game suspension.
It's a C minus, bro. It's a C minus. You got a home run hitter in Henderson. Kamara gonna put up solid numbers. He may get traded. Never know. Maybe get in a better situation.
Now we drafted for trades. All right.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not giving the man an F, Freddie. Like, gee.
Yo, guy, Finch stands for F.
Nah.
So does your draft.
In the first round.
Bro. You can't do that, Freddie, man.
Yo, he got an F in Finch and he got an F for his draft.
With the F in Freddie.
I'm gonna go C plus on this, only because, like you said, his receiving core is really stacked right now, and he's got that running QB, which you need in this particular league. So I do like definitely, and I like Travion Henderson and Pacheco out of that group. I'm not a big fan of Kamara, but I think as far as the starting lineup is concerned, he's going to be okay for the season. Longevity wise, I'm not quite sure about. Right, exactly.
Federico just said, "Hey, this is an H grade because it's holy hell. This is fucked up."
All right, let's see. We get the last one here. We'll go to Justin here. Give us the grade for the Polish Hammers.
Now this is an F.
My bad. Yo, now I know how them other two teams got A+. They took all the good players.
I didn't mean to go. My bad.
This is a C+.
What?
Yeah, it's a C. I mean, look at it. It's a good look at it. Jacobs, Brown, Hubbard, Bigsby, all starters on running back.
No.
Then you got Lamb, JSN, Zay Flowers needs to get going. But you got 2 top end good guys at wide receiver. You got Purdy, who's going to go off this year, even though the 49ers
Don't forget, Justin's a 49ers fan, so you're gonna big up Purdy.
Hey, it's better than being a Jets fan. At least I can strive to love the season. At least I can watch. You guys only want the first beer so you can get through the season. And then the tight ends are okay. Laporta and Kraft, why not? Yeah, it's a C+.
I'm all right, Meg. What do you think of this team?
Jason stuttering.
You know what? I'm not. It's not. I feel like it's better than the last team. I'm gonna marginally. I would give it a C. I think CD's decent. I would put Stroud as QB1 over Purdy if I'm being completely honest. Sorry, Justin.
That's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm giving this a C. Okay, I'm not super mad. It's not playoff teams, let's be honest, but got some weapons.
Greg, what do you think?
Keep it short.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you, producer Freddie over here. I'm not gonna say an F. It's a D. It's a D, right? When you look at this team, where's the stud at? Where's the stud? He got CeeDee Lamb, and that's it, right? Jacobs, Chase Brown is in a freaking pass-heavy offense behind T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and the tight end. They don't run the ball in Cincinnati. Chuba Herbert is stuck in purgatory hell with the Carolina Panthers. Bigsby got to worry about ATN. He got us one stud, man. He got CeeDee Lamb, and that's it. JCN is decent. Zay Flowers, Godwin is still coming off an injury. Juwan Jennings going to have to battle for targets in San Fran. Like, nah, this is a D. D, sorry.
Fred, what do you think?
I'm going to pull out my hammer and squash this team because this team is trash. You are getting a D- because you got – and I don't know how this guy is defending Purdy because the Niners went 6-11, the Jets went 5-12. They have no receivers now. That was not a good draft, my friend. You will not make the playoffs. D+. That is a 2-team league, bro. And them two teams, if they're in separate division, are crushing everybody.
Yeah. So I'm gonna again be optimistic. I'm giving it a B. A B, yeah, because I like that he has Laporta and Kraft. Somebody kind of want to trade with him.
What's Stephen A. saying, Freddie?
Stay off the weed.
Stay off the weed.
People are sleeping on Chuba Hubbard this year, and I don't know why. He does nothing but put up points, so I like that. And you gotta like CeeDee Lamb and JSN as his top two receivers. So I'm gonna go B on this. I feel like. We got a C- going in the mix here. I think it was from your son, Mr. Federico likes it as a C-. So I'm gonna go B. I think that he could end up making a trade with one of those top tight ends and really stack this team up. So I'm gonna be a little more optimistic than the rest of the crew here on that one. All right. Well, if you've watched our show on Sundays before, you know the deal, how we always finish our show. But if not, I know it's Sunday. If you've missed church, obviously, from being here watching our show, but we got something just special for you. Put your hands together and pray, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for our first Fantasy Jesus.
Put your hands together and pray. It's time for Fantasy Jesus.
I'm here to save your fantasy rosters. Good morning, TSS family. And as you can see, our family has expanded. Meet little Gabriel here. As things have changed, we're also staying the same as well. And guess what? That's time for Fantasy Jesus' 5 picks for your start of your fantasy football season. Let's get it kicked off with a little old same stuff. Joe Burrow, once again, had a magnificent season last year. Don't look for that to be different this year. Go out and get him, load up on him and Jamar Chase if you can. That dude is just going to tear up the league. Should have been MVP last year, should be this year. Next one, go Devon Achane. 1,400 yards, 12 touchdowns, and he's got all the backfield to himself now. Sounds like a locked-in start for me. Then we got our wide receivers. We're on Devontae Adams and George Pickens. Devontae Adams had a great season last year despite being on the Jets, and the Raiders, So now with the Rams and an actual good quarterback at the helm, look for Devontae Adams to not look at a year over 30. And then we got George Pickens. George Pickens gonna be a fantastic addition to the Dallas team, which, like Joe Burrow, have a defense issue, which means we're gonna need to pass the ball more. Gotta love it. Go lock in on George Pickens if you can't get CeeDee Lamb. And finally, America's tight end, George Kittle. Right now, the 49ers offensive room is very barren. Wide receivers are falling off the map. And so it's just kind of the right time. Go get yourself the best tight end in the league, and America's tight end, George Pickens. That was 5 picks from Fantasy Jesus. May your lineups be blessed.
I'm not sure who to start this week.
Trust in your Savior.
Fantasy Jesus, thank you for blessing us indeed. Caleb said, thanks a lot, guys, for reviewing the league. He had a blast. Appreciate you and your boys. Make sure if you guys have a draft, send it in to us. We'll be grading them next Friday night as well. And someone said, what a cute baby. I wonder if there's any bias in that at all.
Yeah.
But it really is a cutie, though. I was looking at that while I was editing. I was showing my wife, was like, look how cute this
We're just
baby
trying to get views any way we can, guys. Sorry.
Throwing
little babies up there and stuff.
Hey, listen, like I was mentioning, next Friday night, make sure you stick and stay here with us. We're going to be doing our season predictions. We're going to be predicting who we think we're going to go far next year. We're going to talk a little bit more about rankings if they switched up a little bit, and we'll do some draft grades as well, and some sophisticated pickups for your fantasy league. And also, don't forget, we'll be doing our picks for the Thursday night games for next week, because we won't see you until then. So we'll start our pick segment there as well. Latasha, thank you. Peace and blessings to you as well. We appreciate you. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see you next Friday night. And then during the season, we'll be on every Friday night to break down the whole lineup for the Sunday, give you your starts and sits. And of course, on Sunday morning, got to join in the fun. We have lots of fun, all your starts and sit questions, all that good stuff. So make sure you wake up with us every Sunday morning with TSS Fantasy. Appreciate you guys sticking with us. From us to you, we appreciate you, and we are out.